Hey everyone, welcome to the Live Well, Love Strong podcast. And I am so excited for today. I have two of my favorite girls, favorite ladies here with me. I have Allie Mazzapica and Catherine Slaydon, and I call her
Hey,
Cat.
hey.
Hey, hey. And so these ladies are health and wellness gurus. They're health and wellness leaders in the community. And we are going to be talking about health today and wellness, and specifically like habits and systems that we can put and kind of develop in our life so that whenever the train falls off the track with our kids, and it always falls off the track, we have something to fall into that's going to support us and that's going to help us kind of get back to where we need to go. So, welcome, ladies. It's so good to have y'all.
Get to be
Hey.
here.
Yeah,
Yes, thanks for having us.
yeah, so good. Okay, so I'm going to give you all a little background. Allie is my personal health and wellness coach or mentor, and Allie and I met. How long has it been? Is it 7 years now or six?
Gosh, no, I think it's longer. How old were the boys? Like 7 or 8?
So like first or second grade, maybe?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, and so
Oh, 10
anyway,
years.
yeah,
10
10
years.
years. Oh my
Yeah.
God. And so our boys played basketball together, and Allie was doing the health and wellness thing like full force, and she was like looking great and feeling good. And there was one day that the parents scrimmaged the kids, and I played in that basketball game, and I was so excited to watch the video after. And we were all sitting around watching the video, and I just kept looking, and I couldn't find myself in the video. And I'm like, oh, where am I? Where am I? Where am I? And Allie's husband, Frankie, came over unaware that I was
Oh,
in
Frankie.
crisis at this point. And he was like, oh, there you are, and pointed to someone that did not look like me,
Mm.
and that I didn't recognize as myself. And I it was terrible. It was a horrible feeling. It was the first time that I was like, oh wow, my insides don't match my outsides. Like I don't recognize the person that I've become. Um, and so that afternoon or that evening, I think I talked to Allie, and I was like, I need your help. And she helped me. So I went on a program, and we'll talk about the program later. But I went on a program with Allie, a healthy habits program, and lost about 50 pounds in about 5 months. And then over, thank you.
That's
Amazing.
Yeah,
incredible.
that was hardcore. I just like very much was like, oh my gosh, I have to do better. And then over the last 5 or 6 years, I have lost a little more and gained a lot of muscle. Is kind of what I'm working on now, is lean muscle, and have managed to live my best life with this program and with this healthy habit system, and because of Allie. And so yeah, so anyway, that's how I know Allie. And then Catherine is
Oof.
my god sister. So her mom is my godmother growing up. And about 3 or 4 years ago, Catherine was watching me,
Yep.
and
Mm.
messaged me and was like, hey, what are you doing? I need some help. And so Catherine went on plan. Tell me about your plan part, Catherine, or what was your journey? You lost how much?
45 pounds. It started right during the holidays, which everyone thinks is the worst time, but it's actually the best. And when
It
you're
really,
ready to make that choice, you
yeah.
can
Mhm.
give a flip what time of year it is. It's like, let's go,
Yeah,
right?
it doesn't matter the time, right? Yeah.
It doesn't. So it was actually this month, at the end of this month is when I started.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so Catherine, Allie, and I are all 4, 5, 6, 7 years of losing, 50 plus pounds or 40 plus pounds and keeping it off. And we say living our best life, really. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about that. Allie, since we call Allie the queen. She's the president.
Yes.
She's the big boss of all of us, and she knows
Yes.
doing the
Yes.
most.
She leads the way.
She leads the way. Let's talk a little bit about healthy habits and a system. What are some of the habits that you do every day that helps you to kind of stay on track?
Yeah, well, so you never want to do what you know you're supposed to do. It's just life. Like you don't want to. I don't wake up in the morning. I'm like, I want to go work out or I want to eat healthy. You just don't wake up like that. So
Yeah.
I have learned that it is like brushing my teeth. Like you don't go out. I personally, maybe you guys do, but I don't go out without brushing my teeth. I do that every morning. I do that every evening. And health is wealth. And that's what I have to do with my workouts and with my intentional prep for that. So I intentionally plan my workouts on Sunday nights. What days am I going to go? I put them in my calendar. I actually tell my group, and now I go to a group workout. So I actually put it in the thread. I will be there these days, and they are expecting me there, and we keep each other accountable. So having accountability, setting it up for success by planning it ahead. And I wake up and it's the first thing I do. Because if I wait till later in the day, some of you guys can work out later in the day and you're just amazing. I can't. If I don't do it first thing in the morning, it's not going to happen because I have all the excuses of the day. So that's one of my, and I wear set my workout clothes and my shoes out the night before.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
can we
I,
talk about what that's called really quick, Allie? We
mm,
call that a cue, right?
mhm,
CUE. And so if you're in the beginning of trying to set up a healthy habit system, Allie was talking about how she plans her workouts ahead of time, and the week before she has everything ready, and she's trying to make it automatic and subconscious, like brushing her teeth. And
yeah.
so in the beginning, that's kind of tricky because you're having to like really think about it, right? And so
Mhm,
one of the things we do is we'll set up a cue for ourselves to kind of help us remember. And so that's what Allie's doing by setting out her workout clothes, so that when she passes that, she sees it and she's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to work out. So I
mhm.
love that. Okay, so you set up a cue, you put up your workout clothes, and then
Yep.
the morning comes and you,
Make it happen. And so you may say, well, I work full time or I work late. We can all get up a little bit earlier. We can all do something on our lunch break. Even if you need to plan it for after work or at 7 o'clock, you're going on that walk. Like you can make a space within your day. We prioritize what is most important to us. And
yeah,
when workouts aren't important, we need to be strategic to make them like brushing our teeth. Like no one, you don't want to brush your teeth every day, but it's a life, like you have to. And so I've made this as a have to.
yeah,
And it was a real big mind shift. It wasn't like an option, it was a
Mhm,
have to. And I
mhm.
think when you realize that or make it that, it's way easier to do it.
yeah. Just the way we think about it. Yeah. So we talk about healthy mind, body, and spirit. And so that's part of the mind part of the
Mhm,
healthy mindset of like moving your body is a non-negotiable every single day. And for those of us that aren't moving it with work or with, whatever we're doing on,
mhm,
yeah, for work or chasing kids around, we have to put it into our schedule. And even those of us that are chasing kids around and kind of doing it for work, we still might need to put it into our schedule so that we get enough movement throughout the
mhm.
day. What
Yeah,
about,
and I work with ladies that bring their 1-year-olds, their 2-year-olds, their 3-year-olds, and they put them in little pack and plays, and or you go to the Y and there's a place for your kids. Like there's options. We can have all the excuses in the world, or
Mhm.
you can decide to look for the way. You can look for the excuse, or you can look for the way. And I just encourage you to look for the way and make it it's mandatory. It's a mandatory life
True.
thing.
yeah, it really is. And I think like when you start out, and as I'm getting more and more into my health journey, and as I'm dabbling more in different ways of moving my body, I'm learning that you don't have to do it fancy. You
Mhm,
could just walk every single day. Like
mhm,
that's enough. So if you just go outside and walk for 45 minutes to an hour every day, that's enough. And that might be a good start. Allie and I and Catherine are getting into strength training because when women turn 36, actually, so I talk about over 40, but really it's 36, you start losing your lean muscle mass. And your lean muscle mass is a direct correlation to your quality and longevity of life. And so we are doing strength training in the gym now with weights and trying to build that muscle and protect that lean muscle. But you could just walk, and that would be plenty. if
Mhm.
you did it every single day. What about you, Kat? What are some of the habits that you do that initially were kind of like things that you had to really work on, and now you just kind of do them automatically, like you're brushing your teeth in the morning?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot like what Allie's saying. What I realized the error of my ways before was I was making these decisions to move and honor my body and make healthy choices based on a feeling. And I didn't realize how much I was depending on that. And so when I felt super motivated, then I was doing all the things. And then when I didn't feel like it, then I decided I didn't have to. And so, same thing as Allie, my cues. I keep my weighted vest in the back of my car, my headphones, my big old like Mickey Mouse looking crazy headphones. And actually go before I bring my kids to school, I put on my workout clothes. I'm the same like Allie. I have to do it first thing. And so where I drop them off to school, we have a life center track, indoor track. And I literally drop them in the drop off and then I make the corner and I park and I'm like waving at parents dropping their kids off while I'm going in to do the workout. Like it's not a negotiation. And specifically for me, I always wanted to be able to run. I had the want to, but lots of reasons my body was like, no, thank you. And I just decided that it was a decision that I was going to work towards. And so I started in May and was walking and running. Like I would walk a lap, then run like half a lap. And I just did it over and over and over every day. And then added in July the weighted vest and built up stamina. And it progressed to now I'm running 30 minutes straight, which is insane to me. If I'm wearing the weighted vest, I'm doing 5 laps in the weighted vest, 1 lap walk. Like it's insane, but it all started from a decision. And the
Yeah.
decision didn't come from a feeling. It was the decision that this is important. Why is it important? And then you just do it. You don't think about it. So, like you said, Sarah, it's not a perfect thing. It's not a beautiful, glamorous thing. It's not a, oh my gosh, I'm on this amazing high and that's why I'm doing it. Those days happen and they're lovely.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not the norm.
Yeah, so let's talk about that because y'all, the three of us will call and do Zooms pretty regularly because we're on the same team. Because Allie is my mentor, I am Catherine's mentor. Allie is also Catherine's mentor, and so
We're all each other's mentors.
right, we're all helping each other out, and we
Yeah.
care about each other. And so most of the days, I would say, are not glamorous, right?
No.
I would say less than 20% are the days where we're calling
Yep.
each other and we're like, yeah, we did it, whoop whoop.
hmm hmm
Otherwise, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go do this because I know it's the right thing for me.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, so what about water? What are we doing with water? That's one of the keys, and that was one of the things that I changed first, and it was one of the hardest habits for me to get.
Mhm.
And the habit is, y'all, drink half your body weight in ounces of water a day. And so, and if you're over 200 pounds, and drink 100 ounces of water a day. And I was drinking Diet Dr. Pepper from Sonic. And
Whoop, whoop.
so, woo woo. And I was drinking 2 of those a day. So I was drinking about 100 ounces of Diet Dr. Pepper a day. And so I had to switch it to water. And man, that was one of the hardest ones. I feel like Allie's really good at water.
Oh, I don't know about that. I will say that having a water bottle, like I have a Stanley,
Yeah.
but I recently got the big Stanley because it holds more. So it's just easier because if I run out of water, honestly, I'm not good at water. I have a hard time refilling it. But what I do is I will take a full Stanley out the door in the morning. And a lot of times I'll put a little bit of electrolytes in there because it's the best way to hydrate is to add a little electrolytes. Now, I think my Stanley is like 45 ounces. So it's got more than that 32. It's just got that little extra. So, and then I will also take, just to make it better, and this is like a little cheat, I will take a couple cans of plain sparkling water because I love sparkling water. I don't like plain water, but I start with plain. And then to give myself a little treat, I will add the sparkling water later in the day to refill it. And I already have it with me. Another trick I have is I'll go through McDonald's or I'll go through Chick-fil-A or I'll go through Sonic and they will give you free ice water in the cup and I will dump that into my Stanley. So you always have access to great water if you're intentional about it. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
those are some tricks. I try to take 3 cans of soda water with me every day in my backpack to go to work. and also start out with a full 45-ounce Stanley just to start the day right. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I think I will do that too. So I start with a big old Yeti or a big old, Arctic cup like that. And then I try to do two. And so that reaches my 100. But I also have discovered tea, herbal tea. And
Yeah,
so
you do love your tea.
I love tea, y'all, and you can count tea as water. And so when I was struggling with getting my water in, because plain water, when you've been drinking Diet Dr. Pepper, it's not, just
Not
not good.
great.
It's not good at all. And so I started doing tea, and now I probably drink 2 or 3 cups of tea a day. And in the winter, it's perfect because I like
It's
to drink it
nice.
hot. But in
Yeah.
the summer, I'll brew it and then I'll put it on ice and drink it that way. And so that's how I get my water in. Catherine, I think you add stuff to your water, right? Do you add a
So
little
the
flavor?
morning one is always my 44 ounces or whatever the bigger Stanley is. And it's my aminos. And my rule of thumb, and I tell my clients this too, for a pacing standpoint, is it doesn't matter what happened that morning, by noon, you need to have half your ounces consumed. So
Yeah, I like that.
some days, 9 or 10 in the morning, like I'm on it. Like this is already empty. I should have refilled it before you got on here. But other days in real life, it's like 11:42. And I'm like, oh, I better get to chug-a-lugging, right? But no matter what, I know that if I hit that halfway point midday, I'm more likely to keep going than if I just keep putting it off. And
Yeah,
then yeah, if I do in the afternoons, I might do Crystal Light or something like that. And
yeah,
but water's water. And I do like my Coke Zero once a day, but kind of like Allie, also like my sparkling water too. But I have this made up rule in my head that you have to consume so many ounces of water before you can enjoy one Coke
Mm,
Zero. And I will go meet someone for lunch. And if my water is not consumed, I will not have one because
yeah,
I know that that doesn't serve me. That's an after thing,
mhm.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so I have to be honest with myself about that.
Yeah, I like it. That's good stuff. Okay, so I'm just going over some of the habits that we do, right? So we drink half our body weight in ounces of water a day. Uh, we eat in timed intervals. And
Mm,
so, guys, I didn't know this until I met Allie, and I didn't know that my body was like wired for this until I started like really kind of studying a little bit about how our body utilizes the things that we eat or the things that we put in our body. And so we all are doing a program. It's called Optavia is the name of the program. We've been doing it for um, 7, 6, 5 years now. But one of the healthy habits is eat in timed intervals. So we eat every 2 to 3 hours. And I always thought it was really like perfect whenever I heard that, whenever Allie was telling me that, because like when you have a new baby, that's how often you feed your baby is every 2 to 3 hours. And so our bodies were made to take in fueling or food every 2 to 3 hours and then, kind of do what it needs to do with that. And so can we talk a little bit about what are some of the challenges or what are some of the tips that we can do to try to get onto that kind of schedule where we get up in the morning, we eat within an hour of waking up. And so that's one of the habits as well. And the reason we do that, why do we do that, Allie? Why do we eat within an hour of waking up? What's the point of that?
Yeah, so the goal is to get your metabolism fired up because a lot of times, even like speaking to women our age, I'm 40, I'm 46 this month. Woo, girl, I don't know how that happened, but
happy birthday.
but I mean, gosh, I still feel like I'm 29, but my body does not feel that way. My mind, yes, my body, no. But we got to keep that metabolism fired up because I know I'm on a good rhythm when I wake up and I'm hungry. And then
Yeah.
every couple of hours I'm getting, then I know my metabolism is like fired up. And a
Yeah.
lot of times women our age, we wake up, we drink coffee and we don't eat till 2 p.m. because we're like,
Right.
oh, our
Yeah.
coffee's filling us up. But what that's doing is it's completely crushing and killing your metabolism. And we're like, I don't know why I can't lose weight. And then you go through perimenopause and menopause and you start getting belly fat and fat here and fat there just because of hormones. And it's just this cycle of horrible when we
Yeah.
could, what we're talking about, we could fight against that by getting the
Yeah.
metabolism fired up first thing in the morning. So that's why
Right.
within half an hour to an hour, and it needs to be nutritious. It needs to be nutrient dense. It doesn't need to be like Fruit Loops and sugar and all that. Like,
Right.
my son wakes up, he's 18 and he gets, brown sugar and whatever Pop-Tart. And I'm like, oh, to live in his life.
Right.
But I started actually, he was crashing at 11 a.m. in the morning at school. And I was like, Luke, you got to really fuel your body better. And I started making him big egg quiche
Yeah. Protein.
protein.
Yeah.
Protein.
And once he told me, he goes, Mama, I'm not tired. I'm focused. I'm like, all right, I'll make them for you every day.
Yeah.
We've been doing that for 4 weeks now. And he at 18 feels fueled. And so it's just, it's, it sounds ridiculous that it doesn't, I mean, up until 8 years ago when I changed my habits, I didn't really get it. And now I get it. Like our body is a living organism that needs to be fed the proper things. You're not just like
Perfect. Yeah.
the junk. Like it needs to be fed properly so we can function at our optimal potential and
Right.
our mind is there. So yeah, within half an hour to an hour of waking up and fueling properly is the biggest thing. Yeah.
Love it. Okay. And then we're eating every 2 to 3 hours. That's the way our bodies were designed. And we're not eating, and we're eating smaller meals because if you're eating every 2 to 3 hours, you're going to eat about 6 times a day, versus maybe what we think traditionally is 3 times a day. Right. And so what are we eating, Catherine? What are some of the things that we are eating during these timed intervals? What's something that you'll pull out?
So we're trying to hit all of our food groups, right? So
Mm,
even with my own kids, when they keep going back to like the crackers, the chips, the breads, it's like they didn't even realize we're still just hitting one food group. We're just grain, grain, grain. And so we really want, like you hear the rainbow on your plate. You want to hit all the colors. You want
yeah.
to hit really nutrient dense food. And then being able to understand which of those are higher in starch and lower in starch and how that affects your body. And then I was thinking about Allie's time intervals. A lot of times clients will say, but I'm not hungry in the morning. But they never had a cutoff time at night where they stopped eating. And so
Mm.
they're waking up feeling that lag, that yuck, because
Mhm.
they were eating late at night and it wasn't quality. And so knowing that there is actually a cutoff time where our
Yeah, what is
digestion
the
actually
cutoff?
slows down.
What's the cutoff?
By 8 p.m., there really should not be anything else going down except something to drink, like water.
I like it. Okay, so I usually tell my clients 2 to 3 hours before bedtime or before you go
Mhm.
to sleep. So yeah, 8 p.m. for me, it would be like 6
You'd
p.m.
be you'd be like 4, you're done.
I like it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're waking up, we're eating first thing so that we can start our metabolism, and we're eating something of substance with protein, good fat, good calories, like Catherine said. Hopefully we're hitting most of the food groups first thing in the morning so that we have enough to go. Then we're eating in timed intervals. While we're doing that, we're drinking all our water. We're moving our body every day. Did I miss any of the habits? And we're cutting it off 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. Did I miss anything, girls?
I would say sleep. So sleep is big, right?
Yeah.
So I know for myself, I wear an Aura ring, which I got sweetly for my birthday last year. And what that is, it helps you see what your habits are because it sits on your finger and there's an app and all that. But it really shows you like if you've actually gotten a restful recovery type sleep.
Yeah.
And before midnight is when you get your most deep sleep to happen. Well, I'd say like before midnight up until about 1 a.m. So if you're not going to bed till 12 midnight or so, you're really
You've
losing
missed
out
it.
on the good
Yeah.
stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And then the REM sleep is next, and then you're gonna have your light sleep. But big thing is sleep because if you're not sleeping, you're gonna be hungrier, and then you're gonna be craving the sugary stuff, and your body's not recovering properly, your cells aren't recovering properly, you're not digesting things, but like sleep is everything. God,
Yeah, I love that.
God made
Same.
food for a reason, right?
Right. Yeah, no, totally. And I always notice like when you don't sleep or when you're not sleeping well, you may not notice, like you may not like know, but your body knows, which means your body is gonna start having like brain fog. You're not going to be moving as fast. You're not going to be firing on all cylinders. For me, when I haven't slept a couple of nights in a row, I have trouble with like my train of thought, even of like how to stay sharp and, keep going. So that's really good. Sleep is a big one. Another one that I want to talk about is our mind and the way that we talk to ourselves, or our mindset. And I think Catherine and I talk about this a lot because both of us were in the habit of talking to ourselves like not nicely or not kindly or not compassionately when we first started. And so we both have had to flip that, and Allie too, but Allie was like already ahead of us and winning by the time
She was. She's like, get it together, ladies.
Sometimes.
So I feel like I spend a lot more time talking with Catherine about this, of like, the things that we say or that script that's running in our head. And so I find that initially when people first start off, or whenever they decide like, okay, I want to be healthy, I want to do this, they have that motivation, they have that internal drive, they're feeling some results of like following, different, these new healthy habits that they put in place. But they're battling the mind. They're battling what their mind is saying. What are some of the things that they're battling, Catherine? Like what are some of the things that
Well, I think when motivation is low and you're questioning why you're making all these changes, it comes down to worth. Am I worth the sacrifices that I'm making myself do? And if
Yeah.
I don't think that I'm worthy, why not?
Yeah, I love that. And I talked about worth. I had a mama on last week and we talked about self-worth. And it seems like everything comes back to that for us as women, for sure, is, are we valuable? And I think like we put our kids first, we put our partners first, we put our families first. We see their value, we know how valuable they are. Um, but we don't, like we're always an afterthought. And
Mhm.
so how do we start switching that? What were some of the things that you did to start like kind of battling that, or to start like turning that around?
I think just what Ali said too, I think it was two part. The first is just doing the actions that you know support the goal that you want, even when you don't feel like it, and trusting the process. Because if I'm being honest with myself, you almost feel like you're just playing this role. Like, yeah, sure, this is gonna work. Yeah, sure, I'm gonna do this to honor my body, but you don't believe it yet. But it
Yeah.
comes with time and putting the reps in,
Yeah.
literally and mentally. And over
Uh-huh.
time, you begin to believe it in yourself. And so just doing the actions, and then as awkward and uncomfortable as they are, those flippant affirmations and speaking kindly to yourself, like
Yay,
the
I'm so
I
glad
am
you said that.
statements, looking in the mirror, and even when it feels icky when you say them at first, I am worthy, I am beautiful, I am strong. All of those things over time start to actually feel congruent with who you really are. And
Yeah, I love
you
that.
might have little ones watching and listening, and that's definitely motivation for me to get it together.
Yeah, I like that. I love that. So, I think that Catherine and Allie, we all have our affirmations taped to our bathroom mirrors, and so in the morning, we're all we're all just telling each other or telling ourselves, yeah, how beautiful we are, how smart we are, how kind we are, how good we are, how valuable we are, and that we're worth, yeah, taking care of ourselves for that day. And when I first started that, it felt like really
Hmm.
silly. It felt dumb. I felt like really uncomfortable. I did not believe what I was saying. But after time of continuing to do it, continuing to do it, continuing to do it, I'm like, yeah, I am. This is good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So good.
Um, and
Hmm.
one of the things I told Catherine, this is a little tip for when she was working on it, was if you wouldn't say it to your daughter, then you're not going to say it to yourself in your head or out loud. So if it's not something you'd say to your baby girl, then you can say it to yourself.
So good.
So
So good.
yeah, okay. I also want to talk about, so we talked about water, we talked about rest, we talked about compassion for ourselves. um, mind, body, spirit. Is there anything that I miss that you guys think is important to talk about for health and wellness? If someone is thinking about getting their health together, thinking about like there's got to be a different way. And that's kind of where I was. I was just stuck and I didn't know um, like what to do, but I knew that there had to be a different way. So what are some of the things that you would say to them, Allie, if they're kind of evaluating that? What would be your advice?
I would say find accountability. I mean, we are all coaches and we're all free. We're free. We are free coaches to you, and can teach you a plan that will work. But if finding accountability that works for you is big. And I think, like you guys said, the mindset, when you have someone in your corner, it really helps you to be accountable. And the encouragement is so important. So when I found a coach, it was so awesome for the nutrition side. And now I've found a coach for the strength training side because I'm not self-motivated. I need somebody to say, get up, move, go over there, do this. Like that's my personality.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I need that. And then I think another part of the wellness stuff is like you were saying mantras and stuff. I find like a podcast or like a podcast like this or a teaching or constantly be feeding your mind. So I listen to like Mel Robbins a lot, or I like her mantras that she shared, and I have them on my mirror. Like find somebody that you connect with, or a bunch of people that talk about health and wellness in mind, and listen. So feed your body, feed your mind as well. So accountability and then feeding your mind the things that you need to hear
That's good.
really helps you battle the things that you shouldn't be saying to yourself.
Yeah, I love that. I like that. And finding a coach. And I don't know why people are so hesitant to do it. Like I was hesitant too. It was like, oh, I can do this. I've got this. I have the internet. I can look things up. I can, figure this out on my own. I'm super smart. But you need a coach, guys, or you need an accountability partner. I don't know another way to do it without that because you can do it by yourself when things are okay, but then life is going to happen
Right.
and it's going to take you off track, and then you're going to have somebody to help you get back to where you're going. And I can't tell you how many times I would call Allie and say, this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened and
Right.
all the things. And she's like, okay, well, tomorrow's a new day and we're just going to
Right.
start
We
right
start
over
over.
again. Right. But I wouldn't have got there on my own. I would have I would have at some point it would have defeated me if I was trying to do it all by myself. And so finding a coach, finding an accountability partner. What I love about Optavia is that it's easy. So it's kind of like pushing the easy button. So my friends and I, with these kiddos with special needs, that we talk a lot about, like if we can push the easy button, push the easy button. Like we don't have to die. Like we could just make it easy. And so Optavia was the easy button for me because it came with Allie, came with the coach. And I already liked her and she was awesome. And she, like she just is amazing to be around. And so that was a no brainer. But it came with the food already done for me as well. And so I know the food part is a big piece of it. And we've talked a little bit about like, okay, we have to eat things that are, have all of the food groups in it. We need all of the vitamins and minerals and nutrients that I need. We need a specific amount of protein. We need amino acids once we're over 40 so that our body can utilize that protein to protect and build lean muscle mass, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's a lot to think about at once. And I think there are definitely highly organized people that can do it on their own and meal prep and start from scratch. But what I love about Optavia is you just push the easy button and they send you the food, and it's already done for you. And so all you have to do is set a timer on your alarm reminding you when to eat. And then you kind of eat when your timer goes off. Anything else that you can think about that makes it easy, Catherine, of why we all were so successful in this program?
I think because you have to let go of the fact that you're not going to fail.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times the hesitation in starting something like this is fear of failure. But
Mhm.
the reality is that if you do nothing, nothing happens. And
Yeah.
so failure is literally giving up. And so by not moving in action, you've already failed. So the only thing you can do now is move forward and say yes. It doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, but that's the cool thing about us as coaches is that we've been on this journey. We
Yeah.
walked the path that you're about to walk. We've done it imperfectly, and we're still contending. And so you're going to meet someone that is walking alongside you, not over you.
Mhm.
And they're going to have a lot of empathy and understanding because they've been there. And so I
Yeah.
think whatever story that is that's in your head that's holding you back from like, that's so great for you, but let me tell you why it won't work. It's just not true.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
like that. I like that. And we can always say like why it wouldn't work for us. But I think you're right. And what I love about our team of coaches is that we are real. Like there's no like we're not
Yeah.
that's what I love about these two ladies and our conversations is that yeah, we're never like when someone says how are you, I don't say I'm okay to these ladies. Like tell them what's going on and they tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And so yeah, whenever we do feel like a little off track or when we feel discouraged, you can always reach out and you're met with someone with humor and with kindness and compassion. And then with, you know, like I always say, like I believe in you even if you don't yet, so you can borrow my belief for a bit until you get there on your own. But that's what we do for each other in this community. So I love that.
True. Very true.
I love it. I love it. Any parting words? Anything that y'all think that our listeners would be interested to know that we haven't talked about, or anything that we're working on specifically? I know I've talked about protecting lean muscle and protein as a big thing for me right now. So my
Mhm.
goal is 100 grams of protein a day, and to have my amino acids every day. So like those are two like hard, strong goals. They're non-negotiables for me now. And so like sometimes by like 6 p.m. I'm like, I got 40 more grams of protein. I gotta get but those are, you know, that's something I'm working on real specifically. Is there anything you're working on specifically right now, Kat? The running?
Yeah, endurance and
Yeah,
consistency with movement is big.
I
And
like it.
listening to my body, that's new too. I didn't before I would do exercises because that's what I thought I should be doing,
Hmm.
but at what cost? And so I'm really trying to be more connected and listen to my body.
Yeah, I like that a lot. What about you,
Mhm.
Allie?
Yeah, I mean, just simple goals is I'm doing the strength training 4 days a week. Some weeks I don't hit the four, I hit the 3 times a week, but and I just tell myself, it's 45 minutes. That's the class. Like it's a 45 minutes of your whole day. Just go. Like it's not, sometimes it seems so much bigger and harder than that, but it's not. It's 45 minutes. So like, why am I making this such a big deal? Um, and then so 4 days a week for that, and muscle burns more calories, so that's why I am excited about it. Because
Whoop, whoop.
and then also just seeing women as they age, and they're just like they're on these GLP-1s, they're on all these like great weight loss things, but they're so weak and they're so skinny,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah,
like, I love that you're skinny, but you need to be strong. And so
right. Yeah,
I just skinny isn't, to me, I don't want to be skinny. I want to be strong, and I want to be lean and strong. Personally, that's a goal. So, I have several friends on them, and I just like, I'm like, where'd your butt go? Where it's gone. Like yeah, they're
Where'd it go?
it's like
that's
flat.
right.
And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
how is that like attractive? I don't know. Like you're skinny, but you have no butt. Like I don't
We
know.
have to protect our skeletal system. I mean,
Right.
I have older
Dude,
parents. It's
yeah,
frightening.
strongest the new skinny. And
Yeah.
I have a very flat butt, but I have
That is
Sorry.
not your fault, though, Sarah.
I
goodness
have some
sake, we talked
exercises for
about
you.
this.
I have some
I
exercises.
have been doing squats for days, for months, for years.
I have some I can give you. Don't worry.
We'll share. We'll cut some out.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. We didn't talk about GLP-1. Should we talk about it for just a minute? Because I think that for the longest time, I had people who were watching me for health and fitness advice and weight loss information and just general, you know, well-being type of things. And I don't think they wanted to talk to me about GLP-1s because they thought maybe I was against them. Or,
Mhm.
you know, because I wasn't really talking about them much. But I think that they are another tool that we can use to get to where we need to go. The same as the food that we use with Optavia is a tool to get us to where we need to go. Right, Allie?
Yep. No, for sure. It's absolutely a tool. And I think that when you need, at the time when I started, I needed that tool, and it
Right.
taught me, I needed the tool, and then it taught me how to do it myself, and it's
Yeah.
not a forever thing.
Yeah.
But it taught me so many habits and processes that I needed and still need. And so I think it's a great way to start getting to where you want to get to, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And I think one of the things that says Allie made a mention of it when you're on a GLP-1, or if you just are losing a lot of weight in a shorter amount of time, you lose fat, but then you also lose a lot of muscle. And
Hmm.
so that's part of what we're talking about, the amino acids and the strength training to protect that lean muscle mass that you already have, and then to hopefully create more, which is tricky once you get over 45. But
I have several people on the shot and on our plan, and it works almost like a dance. It's perfect. And
yeah.
prior to being on our plan with it, they are tired, they don't want to work out, they are definitely losing muscle, which is why they're tired. And
Right.
one of those, it makes your body more tired. So fueling your body is the most important thing during that time. And a lot of times it's like they're eating Canes or Whataburger or Sonic because they can, and they're still not going to gain weight. But that's
Right. Yeah.
really
And they haven't changed their
The
habits.
habits haven't
Haven't
changed, and they
changed.
don't know why they're losing because we haven't learned. I've found too that I've had a client that her dose was so high that she was not losing. I mean, I'm sorry, she wasn't eating at all,
oh
Oh,
wow.
like at all.
yeah.
But she liked the results that she was getting. And so we then talked about what's the plan, like what's after the after, like what
Right.
comes next, right? And
Right.
so, like you said, Sarah, it is a tool, but if we
Hmm.
don't understand why we're doing what we're doing, then nothing has changed.
Right.
Yeah. So true. Yeah. And you can maybe go like 6 months, a year, maybe even 2 years, but it'll catch up to you at some point if you haven't changed your habits and the systems and with which you're operating. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's good. I like that a lot. Okay, ladies. I end my podcast asking my guests the same question. What are you doing to live well and love strong right now? And so we've talked a little bit about the health and wellness stuff. So tell me what you're doing about the love part, Catherine. How are you loving strong the people in your life right now?
Oh, Lord.
Besides being on here with your two girls.
I think that I show up better and love my family better when I continue to make myself a priority. And
Nice.
so it's the daily habits like y'all were talking about of like when we get off this, I'm going to do my run. I normally do it after drop off, but then my hair would have looked a hot mess. So you're welcome. But
Okay.
you know, even though the voice in our head says, "Oh, you don't have time for that now. It's midday." Blah blah. Stop with the noise, do the actions. I show up better for my family when I prioritize my health. And so it's movement, nutrition, water. Go.
Love it. Love it. What about you, Allie?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of like work on myself for sure for the last year, like just really like I guess looking inside and how that's coming out on the outside, right? Like how am I want to res- respond, not react. I've been really working on that and seeing how I'm coming across. So I feel like that responding to my family and not reacting to the things that are happening has really been healthy because it really helps me meet them where they need to be met, and also just kind of I basically I'm like taking a step back before I
Yeah.
Good.
so it just has really helped, but it takes work because I'm a reactor. I'm like, what? But if I can just like hold back and be like, okay, hold on. That's okay. No problem. All right, we got this. And so just really taking that time to like now, and it's hard. Like I reacted yesterday and I was like, don't get sucked. Like I had to tell me, don't get sucked in, don't get sucked in.
That's right. It's good.
I need to take some of this advice. This is
Why did
good.
I get
I
sucked
was
in?
about to say,
Um,
yeah.
and this morning something happened and I started to get sucked in and I was like, nope, I'm not going to text back. I'm going to call and I'm going to be very calm and I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to be curious.
It's
Yeah,
And
good.
be curious. Oh, I love that
It's
you said that. That's
good.
what I've been working on. It's like when I see something, especially something that's aggravating to me or it's not like fitting in the vibe of whatever
yeah,
I'm going with for that day, instead of being like,
yeah,
ugh, I'm
right.
like, hmm. I wonder. And
Yeah.
so then I get curious and I just want to know more about it. And it helps me. God, that's so good. I'm so glad you're
Yeah.
so curious.
And it all depends, like I'll give you an example. It all depends on how you read something. Like this text said, well, maybe they can work around your schedule. And how I read it was maybe they can work around your schedule.
Right.
You're not being-
That's right.
So I'm like, so I call
Maybe
and
they
I'm like,
can.
how do you mean that? You mean it
Why
like,
don't you try that again?
or like this? And they were like, did I bold the word your? And I was like, nope, it's not bolded. So you didn't mean it like that, correct? No, I didn't mean it like that. So
Allie.
glad. You're just saying work around my schedule.
Yeah,
That's so
that's good.
awesome.
That's
That
so
is
good.
good.
Like
That
you
is
meant
good.
it how you wrote it. I'm so glad because now I don't have to feel that way. And I just, so being yes, curious is huge. And I'm still learning 46 years in how to be curious.
Yeah, I love that. Same. 44, and I'm trying to figure it out too. So
I need to get more curious.
that's right.
I haven't gotten there yet. I'm like, I don't need to know.
She's like, no, we're still going right now. We don't need to.
Mhm.
we
I
don't need
see
to
it how I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for chatting with me and talking with me this morning a little bit about health and wellness. I feel like we could do this for hours.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
yeah, I appreciate it. And in the very least, I just got my two favorite ladies on the podcast. So thank
Yay.
y'all.
Thanks for
Thank you
having us and
having
tings
us.
for doing this, Sarah.
Yeah.
You're the best.
Yeah.
All
That was
right,
so
girls.
fun.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'll see y'all later.
Yeah. Bye guys.
Bye.